Okay, as you know, with our wine ambassador, it's all about taste. Y'all have heard Rory talk about taste, changing your taste. And it has me thinking, I've been thinking of how we can incorporate that in our marketing that we've been doing for the last few weeks. And it's all about taste. And as you know, I put my life out there. I let people see what I do all the time, how I grew up. And I've been thinking about how our taste has been nurtured from the day we are born, how it's been kind of instilled in us on how we're supposed to think, feel, react. So most of the times we never really have our own opinion of anything. It's always been how our family traditions has allowed us to feel, how we're supposed to view things. Even our religion dictates to us on how we're supposed to view things. So when it comes to a matter of changing your taste, some of us kind of draw back from it. But then you have to think about, what do you want? You know, about your own personalities. How is your family traditions and your lifestyle hindering your personality and hindering your own taste preferences? So if you would allow me, I'm going to show you what I came up with, and still how to honor your traditions and family values, but still incorporate your own life and opinions. So taste of life, time for a change. So I am going to be making a page with this, but you know, I always got to get my thoughts down and then I'll organize them later. But one of the things you have to think of first when you start to change your taste is change your perspective. And usually it's, like I said, it's based on the values you've been taught is your perspective in life. You're molded a certain way to think, a certain way to act, how you should view things. And that kind of skews your perspective in life, kind of, you know, in a way. Our families have, you know, my dad always taught me, work hard, you know, and get your education. But I also want you to be better than I was. I want you to have things that was different than what I did. I want you to be better. I want you to explore and have things, but this is the path you need to take. And I did ask my dad one time, you know, when I was older, and we sat down and I said, well, Dad, how can I do that if you're teaching me the same things that you did and expect me to get a different result? It don't always work. So it's almost like you hear that saying, you do the same thing over and over, it's considered madness, and expect a different result, but never change your plan. So again, if your family teaches you a certain way and you see where there's a chain that everybody is still doing the same thing over and over again, you need to change some things. And sometimes it's your taste. It could be your perspective in life. That doesn't mean that you have to go in and totally delete your values and morals that you've been brought up with. Me, my personality, I'm different than everybody in my family. They tell me that from the beginning. Sheila, you're just different. You just act different. And it's because of my mindset. So again, look at your mindset. What do you want to do as a person? You know, I value the teachings I've been taught by my family. My traditions are very ingrained in me, but that doesn't mean I can't step outside of those traditions. That doesn't mean I can't find my own path. So some of you might need to change your mindset. In order for you to change your taste, you got to change your perspective and change your mindset. That doesn't mean totally disregarding what you've been taught. It means looking at it in a different light. Put your own personality into it. We're all different. If we weren't different and didn't have different personalities, different ways that we think of something, this would be a very dull world. Everybody would be doing the same thing, would all be stuck in the same rut. We wouldn't have what we have today. So sometimes you got to step back and look at yourself and say, well, what do I really want out of life? And what can I change and still hold true to my values and traditions, but still make myself happy? Because if you're not happy, you're not going to be productive. So you want to make sure that you step back and reflect. See where you want to go, what you want to do, how you can, you know, get that, change your mindset, change your perspective, look at things outside the box. And sometimes you're going to be uncomfortable because of those values and morals that you were brought up with that make you step back and say, oh, I can't do that. That will offend somebody. Do like I did when I got into the wine. I went and talked to my dad. I went and talked to some of my aunts and uncles that kind of might have had a problem with wine or alcohol in general. And I talked with them. And I was like, this is what I want to do. It's for my business, but I want to make sure you're not going to be uncomfortable around me if I do this. So sometimes just talking to people and get their perspective on how it's going to view them. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. It just gives you a better outlook on how you can do it without being offensive. So don't let somebody else's opinion or view stop you from going forward. If it's really something in your heart and mind that you feel you need to do, continue to do it. Just get rid of all the obstacles. Don't let nothing get in your way outside of breaking the law. Don't do that. Okay. The other thing is that then once you get your perspective correct, get your mindset open, then you want to view your options. What do you want to do? In our business, in our wine company, we have the option to grow and expand, to make this a very lucrative business model. And that's what you want to do. So if that's the case and you want to get out of the 9 to 5, get out of the rut, then what you need to do is find out what plan of action you need to take. What's your options out there? What kind of training do you need? Set your goals and aspirations up and then see what you need to do to follow it. One of the things that you have to do is sometimes you have to do some research. Sometimes you might have to find those people that have what you want and see what they did to do it within, the spectrum that you want to follow. Just because it might be too hard, don't dissuade it. You're going to have to work. It's not easy. It took you 18, 20 plus years under guidance of your parents, grandparents, or guardians to get the mindset that you were in before. Don't think it's going to be an overnight change to get the mindset of an entrepreneur, to get the mindset of a millionaire or billionaire, to get the mindset of somebody that wants to be financially free. It's going to take work, and it's going to take dedication, and it's going to take an ability to get over some phobias, some fears. And sometimes it's going to take the ability to actually talk to somebody and to take training and advice from somebody that you don't know. So be open-minded. That's the one thing I can say. Be open-minded, but don't always take everybody at face value. I never do. I always research them. I follow them. I stalk people on social media all the time. I want to see if they hold up to what they say they're doing. I look at financial records if they're available. I look at their lifestyle. I look and see if they practice what they preach. So you don't have to take everybody at face value. Research them, see what they're doing, see how their plan works, see if they actually say and do what they say and do. This is your life. This is your dream. And if you want to get out of that rut, then make sure you're following what needs to be done. Is it going to be comfortable? Not always, but is the benefits worth it? Definitely. Remember, you deserve it. This is, always in the Bible, they're talking about, money's the root of evil. And I actually put in there, it's not, they misquote that verse all the time. It is the love of money is the root of all evil. If you are using the Bible as a crutch on why you can't do this, research your Bible. I will tell you that God wants his people to be prosperous. If we're not prosperous and happy, then we can't fulfill his goal and his mission. So he wants you to be prosperous. Does he want you to do things illegal to get that way? No, because then you can't, be a light for him. If that's not your belief, then fine. Find what your belief is and make it work to better you and your family, and then to be able to help other people to better themselves. We don't need to be in a rut. We don't need to be unhappy. We don't need to have somebody always telling you what to do. Trust me, it's very freeing when your family comes up at the last minute and says, hey, I want to go out of town, because my husband has that option. I got to go for 2 weeks, to another state and work. And I was like, okay, let me pack up my laptop. I don't have to ask anybody for time off. I don't have to say, oh, I can't do that because so-and-so, I don't have to. All I got to do is say, do they have the right plug-in? If not, let me get it. I'm ready to go. Pack up some clothes. The only thing I have to do is tell my kids, hey, find a babysitter. My mom's going to be gone. So But I know there's some of you that you're not at that stage yet. So this opportunity with our wine program, trust me, with all the tools, all the training, all the knowledge that's here, you have that opportunity to get there. And I'm going to show you how to use this as a training technique for advertising. Okay. Just remember, you deserve it. We have the vehicle to do it. Let the gurus that are here, like Peter, anytime we have a wine social or anything like that, I am bombarding Peter. I grab Roy when I can. I talk to people that know wine, so it will expand my knowledge of my own business. So when people ask me questions, I have that knowledge. If not, I can tell them, I'll get back to you. Let me research it. Or let me find somebody who knows about that. I'll get you the answer. So don't be afraid to ask those in the know about something you don't know about, or research it, find out. There's all kinds of tools that's out there that can help you know your business and trade better. And then you need to take action. Okay. Again, once you've changed your perspective, you've got your mindset together, you figured out your plan that you want to do, your goals, your dreams. Now you want to take action. That means you need to actually do what you need to do. Set your calendar. You want to set your goals down, create a plan of action, find your mentors, people that you want to talk to, people that you want to learn from, find, some education. And education does not always mean an institution. Education can be from experience. Become an apprentice to somebody, follow them on their social platforms, engage in some of their training material that they have and learn from it, research it. Every time somebody says, well, I need to learn something, they automatically assume they got to go spend money on a 4-year degree or something. I got 3 years degree, and trust me, not all of them panned out the way I wanted to do. It didn't make me happy, but I use every one of them in what I'm doing. So the other thing you got to do is, like I said, find the people that are doing what you want to do and learn from them. Sometimes it might not always be that one-on-one that you want, but I promise you, everybody out there has some type of book. Roy's got an excellent book that shows his journey. We have training every week. I don't think there's a day of the week that we don't have training or you can't get somebody to help you with something. There's other possibilities out there that can help you in mentorship on how to market better, how to do other things, how to get your business out there in front of people. It does require work. So don't think that this is going to be a one and done. You're going to do one action and it's going to take you to where you need to go. It doesn't work that way. In order to get what those mentors that you're following has, you got to work like they worked. Like Roy said, sometimes it might be a 5-year plan. If you're working a job, it might take longer. But depending on your dedication level and how fast you want to get there, only you know that time frame. But don't give up if your time comes and goes. Don't give up on it. Figure out, take a step back. We have the triple R: reset, refocus, recommit. Take a step back, look at what you did accomplish, find out what you didn't accomplish and why. You might have to tweak your plan a little bit. You might have overextended what you thought you could do in a certain time frame. Do little chunks at a time. You can eat an elephant one spoonful at a time. You can't eat it in one gulp. It'll kill you. Okay. Same thing with trying to work your own business. You can work it to the extent that it no longer becomes fun. So work it to where it's fun every day. Do a little bit every day to where all of a sudden you find out you've done a lot and didn't even realize it and had fun along the way. But you got to take an action. Do something every day. One day that you miss doing something is a week. You've lost a week. You've lost a week of credibility. You've lost a week of connecting with people. You've lost a week of business. So don't do that. If it's just a little bit, get on the phone with somebody, send out a text message, post an ad, do a YouTube video, do a TikTok reel, do anything, just something every day to make sure you are in front of somebody, to make sure that somebody can see what you have to offer for them. If that doesn't motivate you, then think about this when you take your action. There's somebody out there looking for what you have. So the day that you don't post or the day that you don't do something in your business might be that day that person was looking for something and you missed your opportunity. They missed their opportunity because you weren't there. So don't be that one person that doesn't take the action because whatever. I got one of our good friends in this business, she has been battling some health issues, but she still shows up every day. She's still growing her business every day, from a hospital bed, from a waiting room, from having IV stuck in her veins 24/7 some days. She still has her laptop or her phone, and she's doing something, if it's nothing other than sending a text message out to somebody. So don't have an excuse not to build your business. Everybody has an excuse. And if you come up and say, well, I can't, and you think it's a valid reason, if you dig deep enough, it's still an excuse. The only valid reason you don't have, that you have, of not building your business, and this comes from my grandmother, who was a private nurse when women shouldn't have been working. She said, the only reason that you have an excuse is you're dead. And that's a valid reason. Other than that, you can find a way to do what you need to do if you want it bad enough. So you're asking, why do I do all this? What's the purpose of this? Well, we have these lovely, those of you that know, I sent out these great information about keywords. Keywords. One of the biggest keywords that we have for people is they have vanity. We call them power words. This is things that trigger people to click on your ad, okay? And these power words are key. I've used them and you haven't used them in certain ones. The ones I've used, these key phrases at the beginning of a headline, I've gotten more clicks and more responses than when I didn't use them. So you want to use these power words. That presentation I just did, even though it's for us personally, me personally, I can turn that around into an ad. I can pull certain things out of there and, hey, capture their greed. You want to save money? I got a bargain for you. You need to earn some money. Get more. You know, inspire their curiosity. I got a secret to get you where you need to be. You know, discover a new way. Change your taste. Did you know that one's a good one? Change your taste. Guilt-free. You can do guilt-free. Guilt-free ways to make income. All right. And promote your business. Self-promote yourself when you're going on these social media platforms. Let people know who you are. Tell them you're a marketer up front so that they don't think that you're trying to do something untoward towards them, that you're not, you know, trying to sugarcoat them some other way, and then you're going to come in the back door and ram them. You don't want that. Let them know up front who you are. Like we've been talking in our social media platforms, your terminology based on where you're advertising is also key. If you're on social media, tell them you are a blogging marketer or marketing blogger, either way you want to say it, because in social media was founded on blogging. So they know you're telling a story. They know you're giving information out. So by you saying that, then you're automatically letting them know, number one, you got a story you're telling them, and it's about something that you want to promote. Not always, but it's not just going to be an in your face, hey, you need to buy this. You're going to be telling them how your product works for you. You're going to tell them benefits of your product. You're going to tell them how it incorporates in your life. That's going to be your blogging. That's going to be your social media. When you're advertising on business aspects or business sites, you're going to change it up. You're going to tell them flat out, I'm a marketer for whatever you're marketing. This is my proposal. That's where we had those proposals that we did. You're going to have a proposal for a customer base. You're going to have a proposal for a business base, and you're going to change it up every once in a while, but you're going to be marketing that consistently to let people know what you have. You're not going to change it up that much unless you have a different product. You want to market in those revenue or in those places and in those market platforms that make sense. So you don't want to go to an athletic platform and market your wine just as a wine. You want to go there and market it on how it can help with their celebration. Celebrate with a great bubbly. Celebrate with, you know, your downtime. Go and relax after a great game, you know, with this, you know. So when you go and market to platforms, make sure that it's relevant when you market it. Make sure you have the right headline when you market to your program. When you use, okay, this keeps getting in my way. So when you use this technique about taste of life, change for time for a change, let them know that, hey, you might enjoy your life now, things, you might not be in that realm where you think you need to change anything, but what can make that change? If you're fresh and straight out of college and you're getting ready to, grab the bull by the horns or life by the horns, then you don't see where you need to change anything. Everything's great for you. You're out there, you're new, you're experiencing life. But once you start to see that, hey, it ain't all cracked up to what it used to be or what you thought it would be, then that's where you're going to start to gravitate towards, hey, I need a change. I need to get a taste of life. I need something different. I can see where this is going. I don't want to work a 40-year plan and then end up having to go back to work. One of my friends retired 2 years ago. She texted me the other day and said she had to go get a part-time job because she couldn't make ends meet. I was like, okay, I tried to talk to you. Ready now? 2 years ago, she might have been in a position now where she wouldn't have had to go get that part-time job. So again, that's with the way constantly things are changing now. Those that have that 40-year plan, if they haven't saved right and invested right, when they do have the option to retire, they still can't do what they wanted to do. And then sometimes their body doesn't allow them because they've worked so hard that they can't go out and enjoy that vacation. They can't go out and spend time traveling the world or the country because their body doesn't allow them to. They worked and used it too hard up until then. So when you're marketing to people, especially about our opportunity, then you want to make sure that you hint on those things, that you put that in there. You let them know you have an option for them. You let them know that you have a way out. And market our wine. We have great videos in there. We have great tools in our wine ambassador back office. You have your grapevine system and all the stuff that's getting ready to come out. Guys, I'm telling you, it's going to be unbelievable. You're going to be able to market to anybody for about anything. And you want to let them know that you have that possibility. You have that ability to give them that dream that they want. It's never too late to start. That's the other thing. You can use that. It's never too late to start. It's never too late to change. You can if they've put in half of what they did for somebody else, for themselves, their growth will be more than they ever expected or dreamed of. And same thing for those of you that are still working a daily job. If you even put a quarter of what you are doing for your daily today job for yourself, you'd be surprised at the growth you would have at the end of the year, even at the end of 6 months. It takes time and commitment to build a business. If you're looking at it as, a hobby, then you're going to get the hobby income. Some days you're going to do something, some days you won't. You're might get $5 one month, you might get $500 the next month. You might go months and not get anything. And those are the months you're going to look at and say, well, what did I do? And you're going to look back and say, I did nothing, or I didn't do enough. I have people out there that tell me, well, I've already did 200 ads. Okay. Have you looked at how many people are on Google searching for a particular keyword? Thousands, millions, billions. Your 200 ads don't even tip the bucket. Your 5,000 ads don't tip the bucket. 10,000 ads, you're going to get a little notice. 100,000 ads, yeah, you're going to start tipping it. You're going to start being a weight. And you don't get 10,000 ads in one sitting. It's a little bit every day. Schedule it in your calendar. Put it in. It don't have to be the same time every day, but if you're like me and you have certain, you have a work your calendar, that's just an old habit from being a nurse and having to schedule everything out. Even being in corporate America, if you didn't have a schedule, you could miss an important meeting. You could miss talking to the president or the CEO. So schedule, put in there, look in what your family life is. Put your family life in there, your family activities, put your doctor's appointments, put your personal things that's in there, put your student things in there. Then go in and say, okay, I need to set up 30 minutes every day to create new ads that I want to post, to create new content. And then you want to go in there and say, well, I got 15 minutes left. What I want to do in 15 minutes. Then put in there where you're going to post for 15 minutes. If you have an hour, then put in there where you're going to post for an hour on that day. and pull up your templates and post for an hour that day. And then the next day, you might only have 15, 20 minutes, but you put that in there and say, okay, I got my templates. I'm going to post at this specific place for these 20 minutes. And some of you think you don't have time. Everybody has a phone. I guarantee you, everybody has a phone. Those phones are mini computers. Pull down an app. Some of you's like, well, I don't have enough space. Delete irrelevant apps on your phone and put an app in you can use for your business. If it's Facebook, use Facebook. If it's Instagram, use Instagram. If it's Twitter, Pinterest, whichever one that you can use and function on a daily basis, that's what you have in there. And you use it. If you're sitting in traffic, you know, I stay here in Charlotte. There are some days I get on the road and I have to go to Charlotte and I cringe because I know I'm going to be sitting in traffic a minimum of 30 minutes, no matter where I go, at what time of the day. It's just like that. Even though we got all these new roads that they built, they are packed full, especially now with NASCAR season coming in, baseball season's here, hockey, whatever other sports, there's traffic everywhere. So guess what? When I'm stuck in traffic, I have a template pulled up because I have my Google Drive on my phone, and I might sit in traffic and post an ad or send an ad out on social media. I might pull up one of my memes. Roy was talking about memes. If you don't know what it is, get with the person that invited you. You'll be able to get access to those memes that's already created. I just pull one up and send it out with a little text and some hashtags. I've done my advertising for the day while I'm sitting in traffic, standing in the grocery store line. I don't know how many of you have been to Walmart lately. You might have 2 people working a register and lines are out the wazoo. So guess what you can do? Stand in line and work your business. How many people have not looked over my shoulder and said, oh, what are you doing? Don't even know them. Oh, I'm sending out a message for my business. What kind of business do you do? And strike up a conversation in the line. You'll be surprised how many people are looking over your shoulder and you don't realize it. Don't let any activity go undone. Okay. If you have a free moment, use it to build your business. It might be that one thing that you've done in that little bit of time that's going to be the catalyst to springboard your business. So don't waste an opportunity, no matter how small you think it is. If you have a phone and an app and an image, you can post anywhere at any time, especially if you already got your templates done. So with that being said, let me stop my screen share. I know that was kind of short, so what do you think?
I think it's great. And
it was awesome.
Yeah, it's something we all needed to hear.
Yeah, it's just, you know, because like I said, Roy has been talking. Since the day I've gotten in, and that's been 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, about your change in taste. All right. And some people don't understand what that means. And it's not always your palate. It has to do with your perspective and your mindset. You need to change it if you want to be something different. And my dad was shocked when I asked him, well, Daddy, how do you expect me to be better than you when you're teaching me the same things? You can't. I mean, the teaching and education and traditions are perfect, but sometimes you have to go outside that boundary to get something different. You use what you're taught to get to the next step. And sometimes we miss that step. We miss that, hey, we got to step up to the next level with the training we got and get more training. We don't totally disregard what we have. We use that as our stepping stool to get to the next rung. And right now we got rungs to go all the way to the top with our program. So if you're here in Wine Ambassador, we have the ladder that goes all the way to the top. It's just a matter of what rung you on and who you need to talk to get to the next one. That makes sense?
Absolutely does. Sheila, you're
I'm getting
awesome.
requests for your article, Sheila.
Huh?
I'm getting requests for your page.
I will get it out. I just, like I said, I was just typing out notes last night and this morning I couldn't stop. And I was like, man, I got to stop or I'll have a novel before it's all done.
We'd read it.
Yeah, and novels aren't they're not a bad way to go sometimes.
The other thing, guys, I want you to think about, and when Roy was talking on the earlier training, was about self-promotion. And, you know, in our social media training that we've been doing, it's, you know, this has just opened up doors for me. You know, my mind just does not shut down. I don't know when the last time I've had a full night's sleep. But how many of you have actually sat out there and done a Facebook or a YouTube about what you're doing? I mean, promoting yourself out there, letting them know what you have. I got a whole thing on YouTube about a review of Triple R247. I did a review of me, how I worked it, what I'm doing, and where I plan to be. I got a page on it. I market on it. I let people know this is what I'm doing. What are you doing to change it? You go out there and introduce yourself. I'm a marketer, and this is what I market. This is how I am. This is where I came from. So if you're in Wine Ambassador and you haven't done that, then what are you waiting on? If you're ashamed of your business, then you need to think about why. Is it because you don't have the confidence in yourself, or you don't have confidence in the product? If you don't have confidence in the product, then that means you don't know enough about it to talk about it. Get with the people that do. If you don't have confidence in yourself, get with somebody that knows what they're doing and build up your confidence. That might mean letting people know what you do. You know, if you're ashamed of saying I'm a marketer, why? Marketing, yeah, does have a bad concept because of other people. But if you have confidence in yourself and you tell people you're a marketer and they know you and know your ethics and the things that you work for, then you could be that one person that changes their attitude on what marketing is. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because you are your best marketing asset. And if you don't put yourself out there, they're not going to believe anything you can put out there to market. Just saying. That too hard?
Nope.
Reality check.
I'm sorry, like I said, working in corporate America, guys, I was in that, how do you say it? The boys market, where women didn't have a voice. And I had to deal with CEOs all the time. I had to deal with presidents and VPs that didn't think that a woman had a place in there. And I bucked heads all the time. Stacy knows what I'm talking about. She dealt with the same thing. So I don't have a problem with people coming up doubting me, because they won't doubt me for long, because I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking to somebody about something. And if you don't have that confidence, like I said, sometimes you might have to do research. Sometimes you might have to pull somebody that knows more than you do and be willing to accept their advice and their knowledge. Don't think that you know everything, because you don't. And until you can get that mindset to where, hey, there's somebody out there that knows more than I do, I need to find them and learn, then you're not going to grow as big as you need to grow. You will never be where you want to be, because you'll be the one person that holds yourself back. Same thing with our wine business. Like I said, when I got into wine, I talked to my family members, because I know some of them had issues with alcohol. And I didn't want to be that one person that was going to cause them to lapse. So yeah, I went and talked. But I also, when I went and talked to them, I had my stuff together, so that if they gave me a thing to come back on, I was able to let them know, hey, this is what's going on. This is why I need to do this. But they also knew me. So I had that credibility too. So you need to make sure that when you are talking to people, you don't have to know all the answers, but you have to be confident in yourself and convey that confidence. Roy's talked about conveyance several times. If you can't convey to them about your knowledge and your own perspective of things, because you have that confidence in yourself, then they're not going to trust and have confidence in you either. So like I said, sometimes you might need to step back, discover who you are as a person, learn some things, get some education. Like I said, not always a degree, but education from people that know. And then you will be more confident in presenting your business. And that is either in word or in voice. Your words can speak loudly. Like I said, we have an English education for a reason. Use those quotes, use those exclamation points, use those commas, use those quotations, use those, you know, anything that you have to convey your excitement in your written word. so that when you're talking about it, they mesh together. They can see your excitement in your written word as well as in your vocabulary, your talking. That's all. I'm done. I could talk forever, you know that.
You still got 18 minutes, Sheila.
What do you want to know?
We got Professor Maxwell Plazo at the question.
Yes, go ahead.
Someone's got to give him access. Let's see. There we go.
ahead.
Get on mute.
Thank you, Sheila.
You're
I
welcome.
always get fixated when I listen to you communicate to us. You are wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
I have a project that I have to do on mindset change in a church. I have to make a presentation in July. So you just gave me a shot in the arm. If you could please send me a copy of your presentation to add to my armory of things I'm doing.
I will most definitely be happy to do that.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Renee, you have your hand up. Where'd you go? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I've been with this for a long time. Rory's known that too, since 2019, and it was great. And then things changed, circumstances, no excuses, like you said. But now I'm ready. And if people like me have gone, stopped, grown, whatever, if you listen to these meetings, if you just listen to the people, Rory, they're really real. They're real people. They're not trying to sell you or anyone else something that is not real or isn't good. I've noticed that I've learned a lot in just watching how you're writing now. Now it's more personal. You just write. You like you said, you tell a story.
Right.
Instead of trying to be professional and be things that you don't know enough about yet, just talk.
Yep.
And it's made me a lot more comfortable, and I'm ready to go. So now I have to prove it.
Yep, that's all you got to do, stay there. And that's the one thing, guys, about when you are writing and even doing your stuff out there on social media and your ads, don't try to be more than you are. Write about what you know, talk about what you know. It really comes across more genuine than trying to be fluff. People will see through fluff. If you know,
I remember, Sheila, when Rory first exposed me to this, and I went, I'm not a writer. And I'm going to tell you what just happened while he was talking and working, and while you were talking and working. I wrote a new page that probably has 2,000 words on it already, and published it. And there's a Google ad in the middle of it already. So, yeah, just listening and practice and keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And he said, let's make a new page. I went, yeah, let's make a new page.
Yeah, it is. I mean, your life speaks volumes, guys, and don't ever dissuade your life, your experiences, what you've gone through, your knowledge. It can transcend anything. So even though we market wine, like I said, if you don't know enough about wine, and those of you that have a Bible, pick up your Bible. There's over 800 references in the Bible about wine. Over half of those is about medical, how it helps medically, how it helps with, your mindset, how it helps with relaxation, how it helps with socialization. And that was my first go-to. It has nothing to do with taste, how the wine tastes, other than when, the one about the wedding, Jesus at the wedding. That was one of the first references about the taste of the wine, because it was better than the market high-end wine that they served first. He served it last because Jesus made it, and it was the best wine known. So again, if you don't know about the taste itself, about the wine, how it tastes, because everybody's palate's different. I might taste the wine and you taste the wine, we're going to get two totally different tastes based on what you're eating with it, based on what you ate before, if you didn't clean your palate. So you can't always go on how it tastes, but you can go on the properties of the wine, what it's supposed to do, how it's going to make you feel, how the socialization of wine in a social setting helps relax people, how it gets them in the frame of mind to conversate. So again, you don't always have to know all the properties of wine, as long as you know about wine in general. Be social with your wine and use your own experience. You know, here in the South, wine is not a big thing. Now, give me some shine. We can talk about that. Give me a Budweiser. That's good too. You know, but a wine, what's wine? So the South is being re-educated on wine. The North and the West Coast, they have to get educated on Southern stuff, but it's okay. We're working on it. So we got time for a couple more questions. Mr. Reed, 3. Go ahead.
Yeah, first, can I get that spreadsheet that you had with the keywords on it?
I sure can. Give me a second and I'll send it in the chat.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, most of us MSIs have it. And that's where all information will really come from, is from the MSIs.
Yeah. And secondly, I was going to say something about people who are needing to do a mind shift change and get their head going in the right direction. I don't know if anybody's ever researched cognitive behavioral therapy, but if you start making yourself do things like with your non-dominant hand or things like that and start changing your brain patterns, it'll help you adjust your brain to make that mind shift change.
It does. It does. Trust me, it does. I've actually got scientific proof that both my right and left brain are always competing with each other. And that's very unusual. Most people are either right brain dominant or left brain dominant. Mine are equal. That's why I can't sleep.
So thank you.
But yeah, that's very good. So yeah, try something like that. It's almost like when you are in a diet and all of a sudden you plateau and can't go anywhere. Your body gets comfortable. Same thing with workouts. When you work out and all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm not bulking up. My muscle's not doing what it needs to do. I'm having the same results over and over. Change something. So if you're predominantly right hand, take a day or a second and try to write with your left hand.
Brush your teeth with your left hand.
Eat with your left hand. Do something out of the ordinary. You know, if you sleep on your right side, change and sleep on the left side. Do something totally outside your realm. If you're afraid of picking up a call, pick up a call and call somebody you ain't talked to in a while. See what happened. Just different things, guys. You'll be surprised. Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Who was next? Stacy, we got
Susan next.
okay.
Susan, go ahead.
All right, she got
You
no
have to
mute.
unmute. You have to unmute. Susan.
Get your there you go.
Unmute. Okay, I'm sorry. I know the answer is yes, but I don't know why yet. Okay, I have my 2 boxes of wine sitting unopened, sitting on the floor. So if we know someone that's sort of like drinks wine all the time and would consider themselves a connoisseur, is our wine the quality that they would like?
Most definitely.
No.
And where can I get?
And
No,
I haven't even talked to Niall about this, but where
It's
can I
really,
get
it's really not, Susan.
it's going to be better.
Yes.
They've never had wine like ours before.
Yes.
They're not. Yeah, they're not going to. They think
even
wine.
If they're real rich from Wall Street, and I happen to have a cousin that is always showing
Send them a
pictures.
bottle. Give them a bottle.
Send them a bottle.
Yeah, and tell them to comment on your Facebook about the bottle.
Okay. Okay.
And Susan, get with me and we'll
Yep.
maybe we can have a conversation and see whether he likes reds or whites and what his favorites are. And then we'll know exactly which one to send them.
Oh, I didn't talk to you about this. I just was a incredible presentation, every word of which I needed. And because she hit on points that we haven't even gotten close to now. I just met you.
Oh, yeah.
See, there's
I'm
a
really
reason for
excited.
everything. Perfect. But yeah, get with Niall. If he's your upline, trust me, Niall's a font of knowledge. I try to get.
Oh, I
you
know,
to.
I know, I know that.
All right, so Jesse Farnsworth, go ahead.
Hey,
Hey,
okay, it's not a question. I just want to make a remark of the previous training. I wrote a page at the same time Rory did. He inspired me. And when I started thinking about what I was a part of and how I wanted to get across what I did, I'm a very visual person, and the scene from 300 just entered my brain. When he says, "What is your profession?" and that whole thing goes, and it sums up what we're a part of here. To
Yep.
me.
Yep. Guys, there's all kind of ways that you can do this. Google is full, I mean, full of images for lifestyle changes. So an image goes a long way. If you don't want to get in front of the camera and do a video, trust me, there are things out there on Google Images that you can pull up to enhance your message. You know, I actually have one, you know, like I said, I just got my husband's boat redone. I got the carpet removed and got it spray painted with that stuff. I got his motor tuned up for him. And now he's playing ball and Eli's playing ball. And I'm like, I'm ready to get in the water. I'm gonna take it by myself because it looks really good now. You know, but he's got him a bass boat. But I'm thinking, next year, I might trade that in and get the next size bass boat for him because I had the means with this business to get it fixed this time, the way he wants it. But next year, with the way my business is growing, I might be able to get him that next step. So guess what? One of my memes was 2 years ago when we first had the boat. He had a little John boat, a little bass tracker that had like a 15 power motor on it. Took a picture of that and then took a picture of his new boat and went, is this your taste or is this your taste? Okay. Now what I can do is say, is this your taste or is this your taste? And the reason I can say that is we were at the shipyard this past weekend. And for those that don't know, it's Shipyard Park down in Columbia. And it's a baseball park on an island. Guess what was around that island? Yachts, massive yachts. Every time I turned around to look, if Eli wasn't on the field or at bat, I missed my husband. And I'm like, where are you at? And I couldn't leave because I was the scorekeeper. Guess where I found him? Standing at the fence looking at a yacht. I'm like, something you want to tell me? I'd like to have that. So guess what? I got a new goal. He's got another dream. So again, what do you want to do? I know now we'll be down there in Florida before you know it.
Do I need to add that to my pink sheet back here of Niall's statement?
There you go.
It's a lovely destination.
I know, right? So again, guys, it's all in baby steps. You don't have to go from that John boat to that massive yacht in one step. Just like you don't go from infancy till adulthood in one step. You have milestones in between. Same thing with our business. Set those stepping stones. There you go. Set your goals and dreams. Do one thing at a time. And then before you know it, you've got that mansion or that house on the lake, or you have your John boat. Maybe you're tired of fishing off the bank and you'd like a little John boat with a trolling motor. You can't even foresee having that 250 outboard motor or 225 outboard motor yet, but you can see a John boat with a trolling motor. And maybe you got that John boat with the trolling motor, and maybe now you need a 15 horsepower motor to go on your John boat. I mean, do little stuff. You know, you see how I love fishing. I love fishing. Sorry.
Or 4 250s on the back. Just
exactly.
Saying.
I think this one, the whole back end of it was motors. It sounded like a NASCAR when they cranked it up. I was like, man. And then the thing about it is my grandson, not my grandson, my grandson's dad, my son, he drove my husband's Mustang, you know, and that was his dream, was to have a Mustang. It's a unique, one-of-a-kind Mustang. By me working in the dealership, I was able to get it built for him. Everything, all the bells and whistles. Well, you had to come across this big bridge to get to the shipyard. Guess what we heard in the back end of the shipyard, sitting in the stadium? I was like, there comes my son in my husband's Mustang, because he was all the way across the bridge. And I was like, how do you know? I know the sound of that car. Sure enough, here he comes in, because literally, and everybody was, if you were in the parking lot, they were around that Mustang, because it's a candy apple red, got the big low profile tires on it, drop down, beautiful. And they're like, where did you get this? It don't even look like it's 3 years old. It has almost no miles on it, because we just drive it to let people see it. But it's one of his dreams, and we have it. And that was a place I was in to get what he needed. But now I'm in a different place to get more things he needs. This business, guys, when I do it, it's not for me, but it is for me, because I can give what my family, what I want them to have and what they need, what they want. And that makes me happy. Because now my goal is to get my husband home, which I think he will never leave. He loves his job. Because literally his job basically is whatever he wants to do within his company. If he wants to work from home all day and stay with me, he can do that. If he needs to go down the road and for a bit, he can do that. You know, he's in that position where he got his laptop and a phone, he can work, do the business that he's in. But I'd love for him to just come home and throw his phone out, which I've done that before too. Got in trouble. But anyway, you got to find what's going to float your boat, literally, to make you grow this business the way it needs to grow. And sometimes it might not be you. Your why may not be big enough if you're just centering it on yourself. So sometimes you got to say, why do I need to get out of that boat? Why do I need to do that presentation and change my taste of life? Maybe you as an individual, your why is not big enough to change that taste, to make that change. Maybe you need to go outside yourself and see what it is, what you need to do to make that change. Okay. Jessica will be our last question, and then we're going to go to the next training. Go ahead and unmute.
Hi.
Hi.
This is my second meeting and I'm new, totally new. I'm excited to be here, and I really like what you were saying, and I'm starting to get kind of like the gist of what what we have to do in order to grow this business. And I don't know, I'm excited simply because my dreams have always been to like get my family out of the place that we've always lived in, and how to get my dad to start a business and leave his job, which doesn't really have many benefits, because he was a immigrant, right? And so he didn't have the benefits. Now he's becoming a citizen and all these things, but it's not good enough, you know? It's not what he deserves.
Exactly.
And so I guess I don't really have a question, but more so just like, well, maybe it is a question, but like, what do you recommend other than what you guys have basically been telling us to do? Like, I have a lot of free time and I'm 28 years old, and I've always wanted to have my own business and do all these things. And so do you think that it would be possible to accomplish something that someone has had for 4 years doing in a time span of a year, if we go ahead and dedicate all our time and like a passion to it?
Exactly, most definitely. It took me, I worked in my business that I was in the car business in HR. I was making 6 figures when I left that. It took me 7 months to leave it doing this.
Wow.
So, but you have to look at your finances. So get with your instructor or your mentor and sit down with them and say, this is my financial statement, and how do I get from point A to point B? Sometimes you're going to have to expose yourself to somebody that knows more to help you get out of it. So get with your person that invited you here and tell them, this is my goal. How do I get with it? And set a plan and then work it. Trust me, we got ways here to get you where you want to go, but you got to work it.
Okay.
And the good thing about our business, even though your father's an immigrant, this business doesn't care. We can get him where he wants to be if he's willing to work.
Okay,
Is that right now, Stacy?
150% agree.
Definitely.
thank you.
You're welcome, and congratulations for being here. You made the right step.
Thanks.
No doubt.
All right, guys, I'm done. I went over 2 minutes. So Mr. Now, you take it over, and I'm gonna stay on as long as I can before my husband calls me and tells me I got to get to the ball field